and welcome to ECCB Connects. This is a program produced by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank designed to share with you who we are, what we do, and how we serve you. On this week's episode, numbers speak louder than words. In today's world, statistics are everywhere, from predicting the weather to making business decisions, shaping public policy, and helping us as individuals make decisions about our personal goals. But how often do we really stop to think about the power behind the numbers? We'll dive into the importance of statistics and explore how data influence our daily lives. Stay with us for the details after the break. Have you seen the Grenada 50? The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, in collaboration with the government of Grenada, issued the Grenada $50 note in July 2024 to commemorate Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence. The Grenada 50 is printed on polymer. It is the same size and includes similar security features as the current EC banknotes in circulation. This limited edition $50 banknote was issued exclusively in Grenada, but it can be used in any of the ECCB member countries. The Grenada $50 note is legal tender. This means that it can be used for any of your standard and over-the-counter business transactions. Thank you for staying connected. We're joined by data specialist in the Research, Statistics, and Data Analytics Department, Dr. Leah Sahely, who will be sharing how the stories behind the numbers make all the difference. Leah, welcome to ECCB Connects.
Thanks for having me, Shanna.
Statistics are often seen as cold, complex figures, numbers on a page or graphics on a screen, and people get tense and anxious. They think that statistics is confusing and intimidating. Is that the case?
Not at all. I know, as you mentioned, when people think of statistics, they do think of technical terms, numbers on a page, as you mentioned, maybe even big spreadsheets, and maybe flashbacks back in the math class days. So I think that is probably where a lot of the tenseness comes in. But really, it's about understanding the information that's around us. If you think about when you go to a restaurant, you want to know what's the most popular dish. That's statistics. When you think about customers and businesses want to understand what do their customers like, what are they buying more of, that's statistics. And even you at home, if you're looking at your budget and how much you're spending, all of that is statistics. So as you can see, it's really a part of your everyday life. And if you could just think of it as something simple, it's really storytelling, but with data.
Wow. You've sold me on that. For someone who didn't like maths at all. Now, Leah, you have been dealing with numbers as a statistician for all of your career. What drew you to this field?
I've always had a love for numbers. So since high school, I've had really good math teachers. And then I went off to college to do a business degree. And I chose math as an elective. And I found myself taking more math courses as electives. So I ended up doing a second degree in math. And as I advanced into doing my master's, statistics was my area of focus in math. And while I was doing statistics, I had a project, and it was using health survey data. And I found the health survey data was a practical way of applying numbers because it was actually helping people. The information coming from that survey was making a difference in people's lives. So I said, aha, this is it. I love statistics. Seeing the numbers being used in a way that made sense for the average person and how it would be applied, I thought, this is it. This is my love for I love statistics.
I feel the passion. Now, you've made it clear that statistics is not something intimidating. So who should be interested in statistics?
Honestly, everyone. everyone should be interested, from businesses to your personal use of the information, and then even, of course, policymakers, governments, even the central bank. I mean, there's a lot of information there that you need to know. For example, for businesses, you need to know, what do your customers prefer? What are they buying? Why are they buying those versus something else? It's information that would help businesses, plan better. In terms of you as someone at home, you're tracking your information. What are you spending on? Where can you save? All of that information is useful for you as someone at home trying to manage your budget. When you think of a central bank or even governments, we have to look at the health statistics data. You want to look at even crime statistics as well as education. That is going to help persons understand what's happening in the economy, especially for central bank. We tend to analyze the economics data. And then, of course, we have our licensed financial institutions who submit data to us, and that helps us to assess the soundness of the banking system, and that is linked to what we call financial stability. So there's a lot of data out there governments are using to help make decisions, and statistics takes the guessing out of your decision making.
Now, Leah, take us into the fascinating world of data and explain to us in a practical way how data is used in decision making from the household level right up to policy making.
So households, again, would use, for example, budgeting, or they may want to figure out which item to buy, which not to buy. I know even going online, you would look at social media reviews. So that's another way of looking at statistics in this world. Right now, big data is the term that's used, but that's just a fancy way of saying social media data, looking at your apps. Your apps are powered by data. So even when you have a fitness tracker and you're monitoring your data on your fitness tracker, you will be able to see how many miles you've ran for the month. Those are important things. So it helps you with your budgeting. It helps you plan, whatever goals you have, you can track that. So that's one way from the household side of things. Then from the businesses, you can look at data to help you decide, well, it takes me 10 weeks to get a particular product into the country. So I need to plan in advance for supply chain issues. I need to budget for, how many months in advance do I need to consider getting this item. So it's all included in your decision making for businesses to make sure whatever inventories they're going to be running out of, they are able to plan early on when to start ordering those items. From the government side of things, you want to look at crime trends. That's important so that it could help public safety. You want to look at education results. How is that going to help in planning? Now, a lot of information comes from the schools for the education. From the police, you could get the crime statistics. Of course, even in terms of us, when we fill out censuses, we get information on the population, their living conditions, their age, just anything you can get from the census that would provide data for you. Surveys are done regularly by our stats offices. We collect some of that data here at ECCB, and we also do our own analysis from the central bank perspective, looking at it from an economy point of view, financial stability point of view. So it's useful information that we try to get from the general public through the governments, because without them. Now, one of the things I want to bring up here, which is statistics is data, but analyzing the data is one aspect. You have to think about how you're going to collect the data, how you're going to store the data, and how you're going to govern the data. So governing the data may seem a little stronger word, but it's so important to have, because if you think of it like a filing system, if I'm supposed to access this data and it's stored somewhere, I should be able to access it when I need it, and believe that data is accurate and that when I need it, it's available to me, and then also that it's reliable. So all of that together, you have to put it in a package. And that's where data management, data strategy, even data governance, those are words that are new to us, even here at ECCB, and we're trying to ensure that we strategically implement all of those, because collecting the data is just one aspect. And we need to make sure that when you're analyzing the data, you trust the data. And through that, it comes from the governance of the data.
In today's world, though, where we are constantly exposed to data and numbers, how important would you say statistical literacy should be for the public?
It's absolutely important. It needs to become a ritual, a part of your life, because all the data that surrounds us, whether it's a number on a page or whether it's social media reviews, statistics takes away all that noise. You don't have to be a genius in math, or you don't even have to know everything about data and statistics, but there's basic data skills that you want to become comfortable with, and having the right tools and approach and understanding some skills will help you in the long run. So I'm hoping that persons would see being as important thing to have and to know, to be able to handle their day-to-day operation, and even supporting governments in completing survey forms when asked to, so that we can have information to guide in decision making.
In light of the importance of statistics, Leah, what would you say to persons to encourage them to participate in any form of statistics gathering going forward?
Your voice matters. Your voice matters, and don't think of it as you're just completing a form. You're actually helping to shape decisions that's going to affect your community. So it's important that you see the impact of the data and how it could benefit you in the long run, as well as your community. And also ask questions. If somebody's asking you to fill out a form, ask them, what is it going to be used for? You should be able to get an answer to that. That's part of what we call data governance. So persons should be able to know where their data is going, how their data is going to be used, and it's used for the intended purpose. That is so important, because you don't want to see, as you said, there's the trust issue. We have to make sure that people feel comfortable, that they know their data is going to be used, and that if they see the results, programs being developed as a result, they're going to want to participate the next time around, because their voice matters.
Great. Leah, as we wrap up, what is one key takeaway that you'd like people to understand about the power and importance of statistics in shaping decisions and understanding the world around us?
One of the things I would say is, don't be afraid of data. There's a lot of tools out there to help guide you. It can be taking short courses. It can be just Googling, maybe even going on AI and asking a question about statistics. If something you're not clear of, utilize the technology, utilize the tools that are out there. It's so much more information out there that can help you to feel comfortable. So don't be afraid of data. Data is your superpower. And if you use it, you will feel even more empowered to make smarter decisions, and even call on your policymakers to do more surveys and even support them when they're asking for survey information. Because with that, policy decisions will be made, and you'll have programs that will benefit you.
Leah, thank you very much for stopping by and sharing with us the importance of statistics.
Thanks for having me, Shannon.
And now for this week's financial tip.
Retirement comes quickly. Start saving now and investing now to prepare for it.
We've come to the end of this week's episode of ECCB Connects. We discovered the power of numbers and the role they play in shaping the world around us. We learned that statistics is important for decision making. We all use statistics in our everyday lives more than we realize. You can play a role in shaping decisions that will impact you when you participate in statistical gathering tools like surveys and the census. Thank you for viewing. We invite you to join us again next week when we'll be back with another episode of ECCB Connects to share with you who we are, what we do, and how we serve you.